It is important to learn how to communicate with people from other cultures. Learning about their culture and practicing tolerance can make things easier. If you have the knowledge of how to communicate effectively, you can share it with people from other cultures. So, we are going to watch about the how to communicate well with people from other cultures.
Method 1. The right attitude. First is learn about the culture beforehand.
Learn the basic do's and don'ts of a culture. A little knowledge can go a long way. You can find information on this from internet sources.
Step 2. Expect differences.
Different cultures will speak at different volumes. Be more or less direct in showing emotion, and exhibit other dissimilarities in communication. When communicating with people from other cultures, be prepared to encounter such differences, including ones that you were not aware of.
Step 3. Understand hierarchies.
When communicating with a different culture, there may be unwritten rules about social hierarchy that you are not used to. For instance, you may come from a culture where men and women are expected to communicate equally.
Step 4. Be upfront about difficulties in communication.
If you could not understand someone or think that he or she did not understand you, say something about it. Avoid being rude or offensive, but patiently explain the problem.
Step 5. Be respectful and tolerant.
Each culture has its own set of dominant values, beliefs, and prejudices. It is not the time to judge people based on these differences. Instead, respect them for what they are, and tolerate them. You may even learn something new.
Finally, be patient.
Communicating with people from other cultures can be enlightening and rewarding. Expect that not everything will come out quite right or be fully understood. Be patient with others, and ask them to be patient with you.
Method 2. Verbal communication. First is speak clearly and slowly, if necessary.
Refrain from shouting unnecessarily or treating others as though they do not understand. Raising your voice does not make you easier to understand and can be seen as rude.
Step 2. Be proper.
Be polite and use formal modes of address until it is made clear that you don't need to. Depending on the cultures that are interacting, this may include addressing others by first and last name, by last name alone, with a title such as Mr.
Step 3. Brush up on your foreign language skills.
Practice the basics, including hello, please, thank you, and how are you? Carry a phrase book or electronic device that can help you find phrases you need and don't know. Step 4. Try to use the dominant language if you are in the linguistic minority. If you are communicating with people who speak a different language, try to use their language at first, or as much as you can. Even if you can't say much more than hello and how are you in their language, the gesture is.
Finally, avoid slang and profanity.
Using non-standard or obscene language improperly can make you hard to understand. This is important, unless you are absolutely sure how it is used in another culture. Since a language's slang and profanity are complex and highly dependent on context, it is best to avoid them altogether.
Method 3. Non-verbal communication. First is use open-handed gestures.
In some cultures, pointing with an index finger, giving the OK sign, and other common gestures can be seen as offensive. Since you may not know which gestures could be mistaken in this way, Stick to open-handed gestures.
Step 2. Assume a formal posture at first.
Keep your feet on the floor, sit up straight and don't use your arms too expressively. This is because certain postures can be seen as offensive to others. For instance, showing your foot in some cultures is seen as a rude gesture.
Step 3. Understand rules regarding touching.
Don't take it as offensive if another culture is more or less physical than you are used to when communicating. Some cultures may expect more physical contact between people when communicating than other cultures do. If you are uncomfortable, let others know.
Step 4. Know how to make or avoid eye contact.
In some cultures, looking another person in the eye when you speak is seen as a sign of honesty and interest. In other cultures, however, it may be seen as disrespectful, confrontational, or a sign of sexual interest.
Step 5. Expect different facial expressions.
It is common for different cultures to use facial expressions differently. For instance, Americans may smile frequently, while other cultures may see excessive smiling as a sign of shallowness. You can focus on the content of what is being said, and ask questions to clarify if you need to. Finally, respect the amount of personal space the situation requires. Some cultures require more personal space than others. Just try to follow their cues regarding personal space and communicate as best you can.
We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.